Okay, well, you haven't said action, so
Oh, okay. All right. Lights, camera.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to the first episode of the London Weightlifting podcast. Or Willkommen, sorry, I should have said. Obviously, today we have got our community manager, Dr. Laura Petch, also known as DP.
DP.
Laura was just talking about how if she had cameras like this at home, she would get a kind of ASMR business going. I think you said you would just be eating Snickers and stuff to the camera.
That shit is profitable. Like crunching on protein bar, people would pay for that. Straight in the mic.
Okay.
Easy. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll consider that.
Please.
If this episode doesn't get much listenership, we're willing to do anything.
Anything.
So today we'll be mostly talking about our beginner experience as weightlifters. So obviously at London Weightlifting, the idea is that we get as many new people into weightlifting, into barbell sports as possible. So we thought we'd just talk about ourselves for about half an hour. More importantly, though, we found out on the way here more gossip around the murder that recently happened near the gym, which we shouldn't laugh about because despite what Laura says, murder is wrong.
I just like gossip. It's not the murder. Gossip's great.
We found out that in the very expensive kind of penthouse tower near the gym, where there was a murder over the weekend, that it was actually two guys who I think had been doing quite a lot of cocaine. And one of them, they were kind of playing around with kitchen knives, and one of them accidentally stabbed the other.
Took him down to reception and, copped it.
Yeah. Should come to Sober Strength Club.
Should. Really?
If they'd come there on Saturday instead.
Then wouldn't have happened.
We would have prevented a death. Anywho. Slight change of tone. Laura, why did you start weightlifting?
Very good question. So I'd been doing powerlifting for a few years, and I got to the point where I just knew what a squat was, knew what a bench was, knew what a deadlift, and I felt like I needed a challenge. So
you felt like you were too good at powerlifting?
I was just too good. Too strong, too good, and everyone was just like, wow, there's no point you entering the big championships because you're just going to win everything. So I basically was like, okay, need a switch. No, but I just got a bit bored with training. I'd been with the same coach forever as well, never really tried different coaches, and I just decided it was time to switch it up. So I started in the gym that I was at the uni, and then lockdown hit. And that's when I got weak as shit, basically. Lost all my strength, and then after that was when I really was like, okay, I either go back to powerlifting and I go back in weak and rebuild, or I take this as an opportunity to just start completely fresh and throw myself into weightlifting, because there was always part of me that was like, oh, I don't want to do weightlifting and then lose my powerlifting gains. It was like this weird thing in my mind where I thought I couldn't do both. So that was when I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to switch to weightlifting.
Nice. I think I was quite similar. I came to it through CrossFit, which is quite similar, but I was also really into running back then as well when I was first getting into weightlifting. So I was really worried that I couldn't run and do weightlifting. Yeah. In the end, I didn't try and do that. Actually, I just started doing weightlifting. I basically was doing a lot of running and CrossFit. I wasn't very good at running. And I had a physio at the time who was the weightlifting coach at the CrossFit gym where I was. And she was like, your knees are obviously fucked from running all the time. Yep. You are very short of stature and somewhat stumpy.
That's rude, but
I don't think those were her exact words, but I feel like it was implied. I feel like people, whenever they're even looking at me, are implying those things. Yeah. And I take offence to it. Yeah. But she said, come do weightlifting, because I'd been avoiding all the barbell classes before then. I just like the cardio-y type stuff in CrossFit and the running. So I did one weightlifting class, and then there was a competition the next day in-house. And she was like, you should do it. And I was like, I will. And I came fourth, which was obviously amazing, and everyone thought I was amazing. So I just kept doing it from there, basically. So yeah, very similar to your experience.
Yeah.
What was your experience of it when you first started? Did you instantly like it, or was there part of you that just wanted to go back to powerlifting?
Do you know what? A bit of both. I instantly liked it. I really liked having stuff to learn again, like being a beginner. Surprisingly, really, really liked it. I liked the fact that I knew nothing and there was so much that I had to learn. It felt like a brand new like experience that was starting. But part of me was still like because I was doing so much technique stuff. But to be fair, when I got a coach, and she's absolutely brilliant, and she made sure that I was still carrying on with, you know, heavy squats, heavy pulls, that kind of thing. But then I was very much like, do you know what? I still want to show that I can push my bench. So I carried on with bench and weightlifting for a while before I went back to full power and weightlifting completely. Yeah. So it was a bit of a mixed bag. I loved the start of something completely new, but at the same time I wanted a bit of familiarity with like, okay, I still remember how to do the bench. And I was coaching powerlifting as well, so I felt like I still wanted to have my toes dipped into that, if that makes sense.
Did you find in powerlifting, do you continue to pick up technical stuff all the time? Because I find with weightlifting, because there's so many correct techniques, so many different ways to skin the cat. Yeah. It's also wrong to skin cats, as well as murder. But I find every year I do weightlifting, there are little tweaks that you can make, little technical changes, new things you learn. With powerlifting, is it like that? Or when you can bench, can you use bench?
Yeah, see, I think that was exactly it. And that's why I kind of started to fall out of love with it, because I just felt like I knew the bench technique that worked the best for me. And so then that was it. There were no real technical changes. Like, there were obviously variations that I was putting into training to work through common sticking points and, you know, adding pauses and adding tempos and things. But apart from that, there were no technical changes. Where with weightlifting, it was like, okay, cool, I've now fixed my pull from the floor, and now I need to sort out my fucky overhead. Yeah. Like, there's always something to do.
Well, your bench, for people who haven't seen Laura's bench, I think it couldn't possibly reduce range of motion anymore.
It could. I could try it.
It makes, like, if you haven't seen someone contort like that, then it's quite a strange scene.
I contort.
But yeah, I feel like you can't possibly do that anymore. No. Your spine's definitely like as bent as it could possibly be. That's interesting, because I've never really I've done a lot of squat, bench and deadlift, but never in a powerlifting context, so it's just yeeting stuff around. Yeah. So that I've never been really that concentrated on the technique of it. Yeah. Whereas with weightlifting, it's just ongoing. Yeah. I nearly stopped weightlifting a few times. I did actually go in and out of it a little bit. One of the big things for me was hook grip. Yes. Because I didn't have thumb tape back in those days. They obviously did have thumb tape, but I didn't know about it as a thing. And also I think I was hook gripping wrong, which most people do at the start. But I was obviously not hook gripping, and then I was told to hook grip. And I thought, this is so bad. I'm prepared to not do this entire thing that I quite clearly love, because I don't want this feeling anymore.
Yeah. There. Literally.
Yeah. And especially with pulls. I didn't know about straps either. So what I used to do for pulls was add an extra 3 layers of tape onto my thumb and just try and get through it. And it was such a poor aspect to my existence.
Yeah, that's sad.
I did think, I'm not sure about this. And also re-racking jerks.
Yeah, no.
Another one, which I'm sure I was doing wrong, but I thought, I just don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
Obviously persevered to the point where it became my job. So I did keep going back, but there was definitely small things like that really put me off. Hook grip is it's an underlooked thing, because we find out quite often that people have been sneakily not hook gripping for ages.
Yep. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
In beginners especially, and then as soon as I teach them how and I give them a little bit of tape, they're like, what on earth, this is life-changing.
Yeah, you can't weightlift without hook grip.
You can't. No,
it's like swimming without getting wet.
Yes.
You're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, may not be I have another analogy I use.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the expression trying to thumb in a softie?
No.
Well, I'll leave it.
I can envision.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably quite similar to that. Like, it's doable, but it's just not it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, move on. Did you feel intimidated when you were first going into weightlifting gyms? Because I guess you kind of started in a uni gym. I don't know when the first time you came into a weightlifting gym was.
Do you know what? I would say that's actually really interesting, because I would say a mixture, because my first time, I was very, very lucky that I was actually training at home. So I had barbell plates and platform at home, which makes my entry into weightlifting kind of different. And I was actually really lucky because I didn't want to keep muddling through it on my own. So I actually Googled women weightlifting London, and I found a women's weightlifting event at Lower.
Oh.
And that was my first time in a weightlifting gym.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan that. Just, meant to be. It's in the stars. So that was actually my first entry into a weightlifting gym.
So like Rashan, she lifts.
Yes,
Nice.
she lifts. And because I think that was like an organised event, and I knew that there were beginners and stuff, I felt so relaxed. Like I felt so chilled about going in, knowing that I was going to be another beginner with the rest of them. But when I was training in weightlifting gyms on my own, so for example, like if I just headed in because I needed to get a session in, I always felt really, really confident in doing my squats and my bench, but then I felt like I did not have the confidence to do my Olympic lifts because I knew that technically I had so much work to do. I did feel like I shouldn't have been taking up the space, and also just that people were looking at me, which in reality no one was looking at me at all. But I did feel like there was probably a barrier for me as a beginner. Yeah.
When I first started doing weightlifting, it was in a CrossFit context. I remember it was definitely you feel like you're just miles behind everyone. And if you're a competitive person, you're thinking, I just want to be the best, so I'll probably just not come in because I'm not the best right now. But I think I was more scared when I first started training at Lower, when it was Lower before London Weightlifting, when I moved from a CrossFit gym full time to there, and then you saw people who are really good. And also my tendency would be to then be like, I'm going to prove that I'm also good, and try and lift too much, and then you just end up missing. And then you're embarrassed. Everyone's laughing at me now behind my back.
And I think for me as well, kind of similar, I felt like I had to prove the point that but I've come from powerlifting. And then people were like, oh, that makes sense. Like, this is not your thing. And so it was kind of like my identity for a while to be this, the powerlifter that does weightlifting.
And the vampire thing.
And the vampire thing. Obviously added that in the end, but, you don't lead with that.
Right.
So that was it.
Nice. Next one. What was the weightlifting movement that you found hardest to pick up, or do find the hardest to pick up?
Anything overhead. So in powerlifting, from my experience in powerlifting, my overhead was really neglected. So bench really strong, upper body strong, but anything in terms of positions overhead were just absolute garbage. So that's taken a long time to catch up in comparison with anything that my legs have to do. And also I think just because of that as well, that meant any confidence overhead, which obviously is not great for weightlifting because everything goes overhead. Yes,
I found half the battle with people, it's kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. When you're not super strong overhead, you don't really aggressively punch.
That was it.
And because you don't really aggressively punch, the position isn't very good because the shoulder blades are lower than they should be. So it's all about absolutely whacking it overhead. So if you don't have the confidence to do that, if you've got a niggle or some mobility restriction, it's so hard to get through it.
And I think also the other thing for me was I actually found it really hard not starting from scratch because my body knew positions, so I knew how to deadlift, but the deadlift start position is so different to a clean start position. And same with my squats. I did low bar squats, then trying to convince myself to switch to high bar positions to then carry across to Olympic lifts was hard. And also having a strong upper body, my arms wanted to do everything. So I used to just row the bar into my hip before getting it overhead, and that was it was actually harder, I would say. It took me a lot longer to unlearn powerlifting to learn weightlifting.
Yeah, I do find if someone
tough.
comes in and they have quite a lot of powerlifting experience, it doesn't make me super excited to coach them necessarily.
No, it's hard.
It can be very difficult to unlearn people.
Completely.
Particularly on the mobility aspect as well, it can make people really stiff because you are trying to...
Yeah.
The sport is to reduce the range of motion, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get people who are like pretty loose anyway.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter too much. But yeah, it can be very difficult to unlearn the movement patterns.
That's really what I felt, yeah. And even just not even the movement patterns, but even just my brain, like having to tell myself
that's bad,
how
isn't
to...
it? Your brain.
My brain's bad. Yeah, I really struggle with it. And it struggles a lot, so that was just really hard.
Do you remember any coaching cues that really helped you when you were first starting? Or ever?
Do you know what? There have been so many, and I think having input from different coaches, so having obviously my coaches that I've had across the years, but then also having people in person just say things has been really helpful, because each coach will say the same thing in a different way, and sometimes it just takes one that clicks. So I think something for me was actually to put in effort. Like I was told, put effort in. Like with...
Well, you were known as Lazy Laura.
I was known as Lazy Laura.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So I think because again, like I knew that my upper body could just do it, so I just would kind of yeet it overhead and not actually think about the positions in the snatch, for example, because I'd be like, of course I can get 25 overhead with no technique at all. But then actually just thinking about pushing through the floor and like letting my legs do something, it was suddenly like my arms stopped doing so much. That kind of thing really helped. You've helped me a lot actually.
Oh,
with
really?
my jerks, yeah, surprisingly, with my jerks.
It's a surprise, yeah.
Yeah, big surprise. Yeah, back foot first, thinking about that has really stopped me from catapulting forwards, which has been really good.
I like coaching a jerk. I think that's maybe my favourite thing to coach. Trying to think of things that really helped me. I think it was probably Mem, actually, on an Instagram video. I always steal this now. Is he shows the first pull, and then he puts the barbell on his back, and he does exactly the same movement pattern. Yeah, I love that. Because what I found really unhelpful when I was starting was just being told to use my legs. You know, that classic one. It's like, use your legs. It's like, well...
I think I am.
Obviously am.
I think I am.
But you can use your legs and you can use them in the correct way. Because when you do a deadlift, for example, you obviously do use your legs. Yeah. But when you squat, you use your legs, but in a different way.
So different. Yeah.
So I think thinking of the first pull in particular as a squatting movement pattern rather than a hinging movement pattern was a complete game changer. Because I used to just rip it so the hips would rise really, really fast, and I would just belt it around. Yeah. So being slow off the floor. I remember my first ever big competition. I went without a coach to Bangor to do like British Open or whatever it was. Just raw dogged it. And some guy who was just helping me out because he felt sorry for me was like, peeled the barbell off the floor in the first couple of inches. And I was like, that's really nice. So that being extremely gentle in those first few inches off the floor and really trying to do a squat movement pattern rather than a hinge. Those were big light bulbs for me. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else.
What do you think makes for a really good training environment?
Such a good question. I really think cheering for everyone, no matter what it is. Like, just being part of the group. So if that's, you know, someone's going for a huge PB or someone's literally just doing their, I don't know, 25 bench, like just treating everyone in the same way, I think is super important. And just fun, because then you just feel like you're part of that group, no matter what you're lifting, no matter what level you're at. And also fucking good music. Yeah. Makes massive difference. Like having good tunes, something I can have a little dance to, that makes a massive difference to training environment. Just chatting as well. Like making time not loads of time, but in between sets or, in between your lifts, like just chatting to people that you don't know, or even if you do know them, just saying like, that was really good, or how long you've been lifting, that kind of thing. I think just having conversations, getting to know people around you. I think just creating a little community in whatever situation you're in.
I like your shoes.
Yeah, I like that one. I say that often.
Yeah.
I like people's shoes.
I think music is a huge one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of... I can pinpoint sessions where the environment was really good, and it's when someone is lifting and everyone watches that person lift. Yeah. And part of that's coming from a person who enjoys being watched. Yep. So obviously for me, I'm like, oh my God, no, everyone, they've stopped and they're looking at me.
Yeah. No.
That for me is no problemo. Obviously some people aren't such a fan of that. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's when everyone stops and watches. And a lot of that comes from experience, because you're less completely focused on yourself. And also, that when you pay it out, you get it back. So for me,
completely,
I know I like to be watched. Yeah. So I'm watching people all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I know someone's setting up for a big lift, it's like, I'll stop what I'm doing. Yeah. I'll cheer you on.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not because I necessarily care so much about your success. It's because I want you to stare at me.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed to say that.
No.
But everyone still gets their attention and everyone's happy.
We give to take.
Yeah. But part of that is like why I don't like it when people lift at the same time as the person on the platform opposite them. It's not necessarily because of the safety aspects. Mm. Health and safety, obviously not something I'm super strict on. No. You can take care of that. But it's because you should be watching the person opposite you. So I feel like in a group session, you might be paired up on your platform, but you're also paired up with the people immediately opposite you, and you should be like embedding yourself in their session, whether they like it or not. Yeah. You should be watching them, cheering them on, and then that's what starts to create a really good training environment, because people notice you're doing it for them, so they'll do it back to you. Yeah. So for me, it's just when people are taking notice of what each other are doing. Yeah. I think also from that, it's when people fail, because it's inevitable. Like, you're going to fail once, maybe multiple times a session in weightlifting. You fail all the time. Literally, I fail more than I make lifts, to be honest with you. But when people fail, and then rather than just being like on your own in that moment, you're going to start spiraling and being like, well, I'm fucking shit, I'm not going to try it again. But actually, when you're in that group setting, you fail, and then you've got people that are cheering you on and being like, come on, you can do it again. Suddenly you've got it. Also, it's such a difference. If it is gettable, they'll let you know, because sometimes you do just need to stop. Yeah. I think having a good training partner will tell you, true. I think you should just move on from that. Yeah, it's not there today. Because, I mean, what I used to do would just be to miss the same weight 20 times in a row. And you build this really negative association with 100 kilos or whatever it is. Yeah, the number. It becomes a really big thing. Yeah. Yeah, you need people to be like, no. Call it. Not your day. Yeah, move on. Yeah. Absolutely. In a similar vein, do you have any really big PB moments that stick out for you? That's a good question. Is this weightlifting specific? I'd accept powerlifting if I was also given weightlifting. I think... Yeah, do you know what? I've got quite a few. When I started weightlifting, because I found it so hard, I used to cry every time I PB'd. Still do a little bit. Just a little small tip and overseas. I don't know, I just felt like such a big deal. Even just like a push press or something? No. Clean and snatch. Right, okay, comp lifts only. Maybe jerk, maybe... No, actually, everything, yeah. What about even like a paused variation? Yeah, even like pulls. Like, wow, that was so good. From the hip. Yeah. No, so I think one that sticks out is probably when I first cleaned the reds. Yeah. Because that felt like a big mental barrier, like having the red plates on, the big boys on there. That was like, fuck, I feel strong. I feel like I get it now. So that was a big moment, I remember. And cried a bit about that. I think it's an unintended positive feature of weightlifting, the colours of the plates. The colours, completely. It's kind of like badges in swim. Yes. When I first started in CrossFit, it was all just those kind of rubber black bumpers. Yeah. So it was all about slabs. It would be like 20s. A big one for me is actually what you put on first. So not necessarily your top number, but it's like the first thing you put on the bar. Because of like, if you're snatching and you're someone who goes bar reds,
Oh yeah,
that's the height of masculinity.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because I do that with bench now. I just go bar yellow, and I'm like, I fucking made that.
Yeah.
I've made it.
Yeah, so that used to be a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Given my injury history, I think maybe a reduced attachment to what I was doing before being properly warm might have helped me. But
yes. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you actually answer that question? I can't remember.
Yeah, cleaning the reds.
I think cleaning the reds. Yeah.
I was also going to say, if it's powerlifting specifically, I think biggest PB that sticks out for me was when I was on the platform for the British Bench Press Championships. Got 62.5, weighed in at 50, and that just felt like a huge milestone.
Yeah.
Like, huge milestone.
PB in like a comp setting is really cool.
It's just such a different feeling. I'd gone 3 out of 3 and just grinded like I've never had to before. So I felt like I really deserved that lift in a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the atmosphere, like it was on a stage with lights and people saying they were watching me on the live stream and people would come to support, and that felt like a really, that sticks out. That was a cool one.
I think for mine, it's the first, probably every guy the same who's snatched 100. But yeah, first time I snatched 100 was very cool. It was in massive. A car park in lockdown.
Really?
Yep. It was from the hang first. So I went hang, and then quite quickly after that, blocks. Wow. That's when I realised that blocks are fucking great. I was so much better from blocks.
Yep.
And then from the floor, I remember as well, it took me a bit longer to get it from the floor. But yeah, those are probably the best ones.
That is a huge one. Yeah. 100 snatches.
Also, when I did a double bodyweight jerk, because actually that was that happened quite fast, and you probably didn't know me through this. When I first started weightlifting, I had a really old nose injury. There was actually, I was training for a boxing match, but actually the injury occurred playing football. I headbutted the back of someone's nose.
Oh.
I didn't want to pull out the fight, so I just didn't say anything. I was also doing quite a lot of like cocaine at the time as well. So there was lots of things going wrong with my nose.
Yes.
And I didn't fix them. So I just had this kind of thing on my face that wasn't necessarily a nose for quite a long time. Ironic, I'm quite nasally right now, but I haven't been doing anything.
I swear.
So for years I had like a really, really unworking nose. And I used to always get really dizzy after a clean.
Oh.
Like whatever I tried, even if it wasn't super heavy, I'd just get super dizzy. And I always mess up the jerk. It was so annoying because I felt like I'm way better, and I was just stuck. Yeah. My snatch was getting closer and closer to my clean and jerk because my clean was way higher than my jerk. I just couldn't have a barbell on my chest basically without getting super dizzy.
Wow.
And then it was right around the time I bought the gym. Actually, I got a nose job, so I got quite lucky. I went to see an NHS doctor, and I was like, I think my nose bad, and he looked and he said nose very bad. The one nostril is 90% blocked and the good one is 75% blocked or something like that. And he was like, have you ever tried cocaine? And I was like, I've tried it loads and loads of times.
Yeah, why? You got some?
But I don't do it now. So relax and give me the operation. Luckily they had some scheme with a local private hospital or something where they would take overflow from the local NHS. So I got a really quick nose job. They kind of just cleaned out the blockages and that kind of thing. And then my jerk went up by 20 kilos in like 3 or 4 months or something like that. It was wild. It was when I was doing a lot of bench, so like my upper body strength was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my jerk went from, it was something like 135 to 152 in a couple of months. Damn. So it was a really exciting time to be alive for me.
Yeah.
So I was just like sticking stuff on the bar and just jerking it.
Doing it.
So I think I'd done 140 in the previous week. And then the next week, I was like, I'm just going to put 150 on. And potentially I jumped from just went 130 to 150 as well, something like that.
That
Where it
sounds
just
like
like
you.
stuck it on and it just
happens.
stuck. So that was a really good moment because it was so unexpected.
So
I feel like
good.
I didn't really deserve it, to be the opposite of you.
So my jerk is about 10 kilograms below my clean. So are you saying if I get a nose job?
Yes.
Then
Yeah. Well, actually, that's what the treatment room that we've just added is mostly going to do. So it's going to focus on kind of cosmetic procedures that contribute to athletic performance.
Yeah.
So nose jobs, extra fingers, longer thumbs.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
Cool. That could help. Okay.
Arm shortening. We're going to be doing a lot of.
No,
Not for you.
No.
Yeah,
I
yours
need
are short
my
enough.
long old arms. No, of course. T-Rex.
What would you get if this isn't on the list of questions? If you were going to get kind of change to your body, like an extra finger, for example, to contribute to your performance, what would you get?
To contribute to my performance. Okay. This is tough because I do have extremely long arms in comparison to my body. Yeah, they're long boys, but that's really good for my deadlifts because it locks out quick, but it's shit for my bench because I've got a long way to go. Hence the rainbow that I have to perform. To contribute to performance, this is really hard. You go first.
Well, I don't know if this exists, but I think I need different tendons.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm so...
Yeah, fine.
Available for injury, as it were, made of paper.
Okay.
I think I'd need different tendons, maybe from...
That makes sense.
I don't know, even a stray cat, I think would be better than what I've currently got.
Okay, actually, yeah. And I'd
be willing to have the limbs of someone else.
Like furry limbs, if it was from a cat?
If it had to be furry.
Fine.
Because this is cosmetic. Yeah. I can't just take the tendons.
No.
So I'm willing to have different limbs.
If that happened, would they take your limbs?
The cat? Well, if the cat did take my limbs, is it still a cat? And am I a cat? How much of the cat do I have to take before I'm a cat?
Fuck. I think this is a percentage thing. Surely. So if you go all 4 limbs?
Yeah, I think, personally, if I've got the limbs of a cat, I'm still a human with cat limbs.
I do agree.
Yeah.
But I think if you went torso as well, then you're a cat.
I think, torso is crucial. Head, definitely a cat.
Definitely a cat.
Because if my head was a cat's head, I think I would be a cat with a human body.
I agree.
But if I had the brain of a cat...
Oh, you're a cat.
Yeah.
You are a cat.
Yeah.
See, I think if I was to get cosmetic procedures to help with my lifting, it would be new toes. New toes, all of them.
What's going on?
There's nothing wrong with them, but they've just gotten so used... Right, you like your foot pressure.
Yeah.
We've discussed the issues with my foot pressure, obviously in a professional capacity, and my toes just go like Michael Jackson because of my shitty shoes, so they're not used to doing the whole
right
at the knuckle. Do you know what I mean? So
maybe what you could do with is a really heavy toe, although you'd probably go back to a no footwork variation. Maybe what we could do is your foot structure becomes more like a weightlifting shoe itself.
Yes, that would work.
So a kind of filling in of the arch.
Yes.
And a sloped foot.
Yeah, that's what I'd go for.
Yeah.
Could I go 1 foot at a time just to try it out?
I'm sure we could do that as a kind of an intro offer.
Yes, that's okay. Yeah. I'd go right one first.
Cam, what would you go for?
I think you stole my one, honestly. The heel, right?
Yeah.
I don't need shoes. Or I have shoes with the heel brace, so I'll be able to get ultra long.
Yeah, ultra long.
Okay, yeah.
Very nice. Slight change. If you could go back to your first day weightlifting, what would you tell yourself?
That is a very good question.
That's why I asked it.
Excellent question. To be patient.
Mm-hmm.
To be patient and to not be afraid to feel like a beginner, because you are a beginner learning something new, and just to keep being patient. Like it doesn't matter how long it takes. I think I was guilty at looking at people and thinking, oh, they started the same time as me, and then suddenly, oh, how are they doing so much more than me already? And I think just reminding myself that it's totally you. Like, it is an individual sport. You can make it fun with people, but it is totally on your terms. So I think just reminding myself that actually, you know, I've come from a different background, or I might be training different amount of times per week, or, you know, sessions might look different than other people's, and just reminding myself that actually, like, I'm doing it in my time, and I'll get there when I get there. I'll learn the technique when I learn it.
Yeah.
So just being patient with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what mine would be. Just don't get
also
hurt.
Be patient. Yeah.
I mean, my relationship with weightlifting has been so much love for it, but I've been so injured all the time since I started, which is actually a feature of me, like, in sports in general.
Yeah.
So find a way to not get injured so much.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just like the people always say about people who get injured a lot that you train too heavy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I love weightlifting is because it's heavy.
Yeah.
And also the reason why some people make progression as an athlete is because they're lunatics with their training.
And they push the limits.
And also the thing that I enjoy is going really heavy with my friends. So I've often made a concerted effort to try and be really cautious with my training, but then it just takes all the joy out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think my destiny is just to be a sack of shit, basically.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That is fine.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah, it's my destiny.
It's your destiny.
Nice. I think that's probably quite a good one to finish on.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything else.
We've been going for like half an hour, right? 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's very approaching 40 now.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. Yeah.
I'll do shall I do like a signing off?
Yeah, do a sign off.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in to the London Weightlifting podcast, where every week we'll share with you different interviews with people who are associated with the gym. Sometimes they will be humans.
Yes.
And other times they will also be humans. But the context of the conversation might change. So please do subscribe. Thank you.